Hi everyone, this is Key. Welcome to my video blog. And this blog is an interesting topic because it deals with the fact that we live in a one marshmallow world. I know you're going, what? How does that connect to real estate, to my business, to being an entrepreneur? You'll see the connection in a couple of minutes. And it deals, I'm going to be really talking about this concept called impulse control and how for some agents, it is devastating their career. Impulse control or delayed gratification is a necessary, what I would call, skill to develop in order to be able to get a lot more done in your business. And it's not just about getting more done, getting quality work done. Let's talk about the experiment first. In the late 60s, early 70s, there was an experiment that was devised by a Stanford professor in, of course, at Stanford University and his students. And the experiment is very straightforward. What they wanted to know was, does impulse control at a young age have an effect on how well kids do in life? It's a big question. I don't know that it really answered that question, but the experiment is quite insightful and it's quite simple. What they did, they had a room. They got rid of any kind of distraction. They only had a chair, a table, a plate, and one marshmallow. And then, of course, they geared it up with the camera so they can see the behavior of the kids without them knowing that they're being observed. The whole idea is the kids are not being observed. So, and then they brought in the kids one at a time. And here's what the experimenter told them. He told them, there's a marshmallow in front of you. You can go ahead and have it right now if you want to. But if you wait, when I come back, I'll give you 2 marshmallows. And then the experimenter left, closed the door, and left the child by himself with the marshmallow. That was it. That's the whole experiment. And as we know, some of the kids couldn't wait. The experimenter gave them about 10 to 12 to 13 minutes before they came back. A lot of them really could not hold it in. These are kids. They use kids between the age of 4 until 8 or 9 years old. They just wanted to see how they react. And obviously, some were able to tough it out and wait and get the 2 marshmallows. And some actually only had it right away. They couldn't even wait. Well, they tasted it, they smelled it, they played around it, and then finally they had it. So as the experimenter then followed that group of children to see if there was a measurable, significant impact between those who could control their impulses or delay their gratification versus those who don't. And I'm sure by now you know that the results are very clear. You know, those who could delay their gratification got more accomplishments in life, because they could wait to be rewarded later. So they could do the work now and wait for the reward later, rather than I want it now, I want it now, I want it now. But really, this is not the reason I'm sharing this with you. The reason I'm sharing this with you is I want you to replace the marshmallow with your smartphone. Your smartphone plays a big role in distracting you. Well, it's really self-distraction. Basically, every time it dings, it rings, does something, your mind goes to it. In fact, you've trained yourself so well to notice it. Even when you put it on vibrate, you can hear it from another room. You'll be in one room and you can hear the phone vibrating in another room. And most of you want to know what's going on. And some of these vibrations come from Facebook posts, LinkedIn. They're not always from phone calls or text messages. It's because you have probably 10, 15, 20, 30, 100 apps on your phone. and each one has a notification. Oh, there's an update, or there is that, or change this, or, would you like to be my friend? Now, the thing to remember is no one forced you to check your phone all the time. You did that. And now, if that behavior was helpful in your business all the time, of course, there's no conversation. Let's do this. But it's not. There are times where you need to focus on certain things. Preparing a document, preparing for an appointment. There is a need for you to focus. There is a need for you to have some impulse control so you are not so distracted. So your phone is actually a great tool to help you grow your business because it helps you communicate. I cannot imagine a real estate agent without their phone. It's so essential to the day-to-day management of our business. But at the same time, we need to be able to put it away and say, you're going to wait. So I want to address this concept called residue. Residue is something that happens when you're working on a task, you switch, and when you come back, you think nothing happened, but really, you affected your cognitive ability. You changed that focus from you were on that train, now you're on this one, and then you get back. Most of us believe that when we switch, when we do a quick glance to the phone and we look at the text and we go, oh, that was Sally, I'll call her later. When we do that, we think there's no residue, but there is. So instead of me talking about it in general, let's pick an example. Let's say you were putting together a CMA. You have an appointment this afternoon. You're working with a potential seller. That's a listing. Listings come first, remember? So you're sitting together, you're gathering your thoughts, you're preparing your CMA. You decide that your phone can distract you. You take your phone, you put it on vibrate, but you put it out of sight and out of reach. So you can spend the time on that CMA. And you and I know if you just focused on that task, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, let's say 25 minutes, because really you want to do it right. You want to be able to know what properties that you're using for your comparables. You want to make sure that you discuss pricing. You want to make sure you know what the median home price in the area is. It requires focus. It requires study. But it's important. That could land you a listing. Of course you want to focus on that. The smart ones, what they will do, they give themselves a time block, and that time block is about, let's say, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. They work on it, but they put the phone out of reach slightly so that they can get it done, they get done right. Now, you could do the experiment the other way, which most of us do. What we do, we think checking the phone, looking at it and seeing if we got a text or a message or something like that is no big deal, because you never know. I mean, that could be like an important deal. Something could be happening right now. And if you don't act on it right this moment, you're going to miss out. That's the idea. The idea is that I may miss out something important. So I hear a ding for the email, go, ooh, what if that email has to do with this client? And then we start playing games with ourselves, and then in the process, disempowering ourselves. A task that should have taken 20 minutes and done really well becomes a task that takes 35 minutes, 40 minutes, or longer, and it's done in a shoddy way. But it's not the shoddiness of the thing that you are now dealing with. See, when you were working on that CMA, and that was a text, let's call her Sally. You got a text from Sally, and you see the text quickly, and she said, not tonight. Maybe you were going to have drinks at the end of the day, and she said, not tonight. Now, that's nothing. You can go back and work on your deal. Problem is, your brain starts chasing. Your brain does not like things an answer. It goes, what does she mean not tonight? Why not tonight? She always cancels at the last minute. I wonder if she really says yes. And your mind is chasing. It's not you. You want to go back to the CMA. You were working on your CMA. You switched. And now you want to go back to your CMA. That's really what you want to do. And you want to do it well because this afternoon, you want to land that listing. But when you switched and looked at that text or that Facebook post or that email, your brain did not clean it, did not go, looked at it, done, let me go back. It doesn't do that. Our brains love to chase. They love to chase scenarios. They go, I wonder what that means. You know something? I'm going to tell her I don't appreciate her canceling on me like that, when I've already planned babysitter, whatever it is. All of these thoughts are running through your mind. Now your CMA is no longer a CMA. It's called a distracted CMA. This concept is called residue. Residue is whatever is left over after you think there should be no leftover, and now you have to focus on the task at hand. So, we're realtors, right? We have to focus on, communication. We have to check our phones. We have to check our text messages because we communicate with people. But we need some discipline with it. There are certain time blocks of the day. This is why a time block is usually 25 minutes to 35 minutes. There are certain time blocks that require our focus. Now, we're not time blocking the whole day. We're only time blocking 5 or 6 things a day. So we can start them well, get them done, then move on to the next one. That's the essence of being able to be delaying gratification. Each time you switch, each time you distract yourself, you are not producing the best elements that you're capable of. You are now running your day through these residue of distractions. And by the way, those residues will cause you stress. So we have to become conscious that there are certain tasks we work on where our phone needs to be out of reach, out of touch, so we can really focus on what we're doing, so that we can get the most out of our day. Remember, what do we want to do by the end of the week? Well, by the end of the week, we want to have 2, 3, 4 appointments, of which, hopefully, we get one buyer and hopefully one listing. That's the game we're playing in real estate. So we have to learn that. We have to learn to not look at the phone. We have to learn to look at the phone, and we have to learn not to look at the phone. And that is discipline. And that discipline is not easy to master. Ask yourself, just try it. Most of you who are on automatic, checking your phone all the time, if you're on automatic, maybe this will be start giving yourself 5 minutes. So I'm going to focus on this, but at the 10-minute break or the 5-minute moment, I'm going to check my phone and check my email. And then stretch it out. Here's what you'll notice. You're not going to miss out a lot. You're not missing out a lot by not having to check everything. So the lie that we tell ourselves that I have to check everything, that I have to be on top of it, is really not empowering us. Start honoring your time blocks. Start creating 3 or 4 time blocks a day. Make them 20 minutes each. I'm okay with that. If you told me, Key, I'm going to work 20 minutes, take 5 minutes of distraction. Work 20 minutes, take 5 minutes of distraction. That's great. And then after you've done your 2-3 hours of focused work and you want to be distracted the rest of the day, or communicate, if you want to call it that, then do that. You see, your phone is not making you productive all the time. Look and see how you can delay gratification and become very suspicious of the idea that your phone is what makes you successful. No, you make you successful. I hope the ideas I shared with you empower you. I hope to see you again on my video blog. Take care.